Hey guys, David here with Northwest Outdoor Adventures, and today is kind of a follow-up video on one of our more popular videos, the Harley Davidson Iron 883 review. So let's jump right into it. I've got some of your questions here, so I just picked some of the most popular questions that you guys had, and we'll discuss them. I'll go over them, add what I think after having ridden the bike for about 3,500 miles. So yeah, I'll give you guys my 2 cents on what I feel the bike is like after that time, and hopefully give you guys a decent response. Alright, let's jump right in. Alright, our first question is from Matt Johnson. I'm thinking about maybe getting my first bike. What's a good starter bike for someone who hasn't rode anything other than dirt bike through the woods? Well, you're already ahead of most people being able to ride dirt bikes, so not much is different really. Depending on the size of the bikes you're riding and stuff, it sounds like you can pick it up pretty quick, so I would say depending on what you're interested in, if you are interested in a cruiser type bike or like an Iron 883, I think it would be fine for you. The only thing that I think some beginners might have problems with on this bike is the weight. It is a little heavy. It's like 5-something, 100 pounds, so yeah, it can get a little heavy, but I think there's not much power to it. It's not going to pull you away. I think most beginners could handle the bike, especially somebody who's accustomed to riding dirt bikes. So I think the Iron is a great choice, but if you're really looking for a beginner bike, dropping down to the 250s, maybe since you're accustomed to riding dirt bikes, maybe look at a Supermoto, WR250 or a KLX 250. Those are both good options. I have a review video for one of those and another one coming soon, so you can check those out along with my Rebel 250 review, which is another good bike. You can check those out somewhere right here. I'll put that link up there. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Alright, from Travixius. Probably the most overpriced bike in its class. The alternatives in price slot absolutely stomp it in quality, features, and power. But hey, it's a Harley, and now they have an ugly-ass shit 500 made in India, but people will always buy it because of its badge. Well, Travixius, you may have a few points there, but to be fair, there's not a lot of bikes in its class that really look like that. I think the only comparable bike, and that's the reason why a lot of people buy this bike, is because its stock look, you don't have to change much, and personally I think it looks awesome, and I know a lot of other people do too. And so I think the only other comparable bike is the Bolt by Yamaha, and that was certainly, something I considered when I bought my bike, but the Bolt was new when I bought my bike, so there really weren't any used ones, and if there were, they were still basically new priced, so I really didn't have an option since it was out of my budget. I didn't want to spend that much on a motorcycle at the time, and the Iron was the only option I had, since I could find one of those for sub 6,000 that was almost brand new. So, and I know a lot of people still think low of Harley these days just because of their past, but I think if you do your research, you'll see that past the 80s-ish, where they had a bit of a problem with their quality and their QC procedures. Since then, Harley's been a pretty reputable brand, and I know they're not all made in America, blah blah blah, but yeah, that's a discussion for another video. Basically, do a little bit of research, look into it. For the majority of their bikes that have came out in the past decade, they all perform really well, and they all do pretty well maintenance-wise and everything like that. And of course, there's a high resale value with the Harley name. That's always something to consider. A lot of people buy and sell bikes, so I know that I can resell my Harley for what I bought it for, if not more, in a couple of years, so that's always something else to look at. But thanks for the question. Alright, from Grimium. I'm 5 foot 2 inches tall. Sorry. I'm 5 foot 2 inches tall, and my first and only bike is a V-Star 250. But I want to move on up. Would this be a good bike for me? Well, Grimium, yeah, I think this would be a pretty good bike for you. I would say this kind of caters to the shorter group of people. I'm about 5'8", 5'9", and the bike fits me pretty well. There's some times where I feel a little cramped on it, to be honest, so it just depends though. And there are things you can do to adjust, your position on the bike, so there's always that option. So if you're just looking for something more powerful, this is probably a good step up for you. My best advice would be to go to a dealership and sit on one and maybe take one for a little cruise around. So yeah. Alright, our next question is from John Basutti. I can't decide if I want the 883 or the 48. I absolutely love the way the 883 looks, but was wondering if it is lacking too much power. My friend owned an older 883 and said it was hard to push 80 miles per hour on road trips. Any thoughts? Well, John, I kind of agree with your friend. It is lacking a little bit of power, but at the same time, it's an 883. For its weight and size and stuff, I think that its power really isn't all that lacking. I don't really have any problem going 80-ish on the freeway. It's more annoying since it doesn't come stock with a windscreen, so the wind gets to you more than the lack of power, I would say. But that being said, I can push 85 and still feel comfortable on the bike on the highway. Anything over that, and it starts to kind of feel, you know, a little uncomfortable, like I'm pushing the bike a little bit too hard. So I would say, and we're talking all stock here, of course, you could get modifications and, you know, push it up easily if you wanted to, but since we're talking stock here, I would say, yeah, I think a lot of people would say the stock might feel a little like it's lacking power, but overall, I'm happy with it for what I do. I mean, I don't really go over 85 all that often, so, you know, depends on your riding style, I guess. Alright, from Lyle Shoemate. What you think? Would you have still bought the 883 or would you get a 1200 after having it for a while now? Well, Lyle, since I have had it for a while now, a good 3500 plus since my last review video, no, I love the bike, actually. I did consider when I first bought it, the rebuild, or to just redo the top end and stuff and get it turned into a 1200, really isn't all that difficult, and it's really not all that expensive, so that option is always there if you want it. But I don't know. I don't really feel like I'm missing something or anything like that when I'm riding the bike. I mostly use it for commuting and sometimes trips, but no, the ride is comfortable and smooth, and on the highways and stuff, you know, like I said before, anything sub 85, and I feel really comfortable riding the bike. Yeah, so no regrets yet. Maybe in another 3500 I'll be wishing I had the 12. We'll see. From user Evil Tango, your review is very professional. Really cool. Thanks. I'm 6 foot. Am I going to look like a circus bear on a tricycle? Specifically the 883? Well, Evil Tango, maybe. At least in the stock footing position. Like I said earlier, I do feel a little cramped at times. But you know, I think if you move out the pegs a little bit, it'll be fine. Looking wise, I mean, you might be comfortable anyways on it. Again, my best advice would be to go to the dealership and, you know, sit on one, get a feel for it, and if you like how it looks, maybe get your friends to take a picture or two of you on it so you can see how you look. Maybe you think you look cramped or something like that, and you can always move the pegs out. It's a relatively cheap modification, so it's not that much work. So if that's the only thing holding you back from buying the bike, I would say, you know, do the modification. But otherwise, yeah, go test it, see if you like it, and yeah. Alright guys, that was the... Alright, well that was all the questions I think I'm going to do. Just a couple more points. So I've had the bike, it's got around 6,000 miles on it now. Overall, I think I've changed the oil twice on it since I got it. And yeah, no problems yet. Nothing out of the ordinary, just standard bike maintenance, so on that front everything is good and fine. Yeah, nothing to report as far as poor performance or anything like that. The stock handlebars, maybe I don't like them as much as I did when I first bought it, but that's an easy modification. Other than that, I still think I would rate the bike pretty high, either 7.5 or an 8-ish out of 10. I don't regret buying it. I know that's a lot of people are asking that question, so yeah, you know, if you guys have any other questions, you know, feel free to write them in this video or the Harley video. I'll link back to that for whatever reason. And yeah, so thanks for watching the video, and if you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns, put it down in the comment section below. What else do people say? Like, comment, subscribe. Go ahead and do that if you want, whatever. Check out some of our other videos, and yeah, have a good day, happy riding.